We continue our SEC preview now by finally getting a chance to welcome Clark Lea, Vanderbilt head coach, into studio. And Clark, let's start right there because you are a second-year head coach, but you're still doing a lot of the first-time stuff because of taking over during the COVID era, so to speak. How much more prepared do you feel now to come across these first-time things than you did maybe a year ago?
Well, you learn a lot in a year's time. I mean, when you're dropped into the fire that is this job, you just, your knees are bent, you're sticking and moving and learning and adapting as you go. But year two allows us to be in the second year of language and system and operation. And so I think everyone feels more comfort. I love the fact that now I can get back out and do some of the things that I really wanted to do when I first got here. Being that Nashville is my hometown and being that Vanderbilt's my alma mater, to get out in the community, to get around, to be plugged in, it means a lot to me. So I'm having fun with that, but also, the normal tasks of football coach where we have to be ready to go here in short order.
You went 2-10 last year, but you said at media days like you felt that season was necessary to understand where you need to go. Besides learning that Alabama and Georgia are really good, what else did you learn through that?
I think it was more about just the removal within our program. Vanderbilt needed a reset, and we don't shy away from talking about that. There's nothing from our immediate past that informs the direction we're headed, and so for me, it's almost just like needing to have a blank slate. And so going through the adversity of the fall taught us a lot about where our deficiencies still were, and we want to make sure the starting point for our build is a competitive mindset that becomes something that defines us. And when you're held back by past experience or any kind of psychological trauma from lack of success in the past, you need to zero out. And so we zeroed out through the adversity. It really knocked us down, and we kind of found out where that bottom level was of our build. And what was great about it, once we stripped away everything that was just kind of fake and unbelieving in the program, what we were left with was this really a core of a team that was hungry and desperate for results and to get it turned. And so we started to strengthen about midway through the season. And that's why it was necessary. We had to find out all that was real within our program, get that bound together. And I thought the adversity helped to strengthen our bonds that way. And we certainly didn't finish the season the way we wanted to. We were still well short of our own program expectations, performance expectations, but felt like we were on a course finally. And now it's about taking that course into year two.
You've laid out multiple times your vision, and again this week stating that you want Vanderbilt to be the best program in the nation. What does that look like to you?
Well, it's, first of all, that statement in and of itself, I don't, I understand how that might not resonate with everyone, but to me, and if you know me and you know my competitive mindset and you know what's kind of written on my heart, I mean, why would you ever be a part of something that you weren't trying to be the standard for or the best in the country? And that's what we're trying to do, and it means a lot of things. It certainly means sustained success and football success, so wins on the field. It also means that we're delivering an experience that is life-altering for the players in our program, the team members in our program. It means that we are allowing them to be engaged and connected to a top 15 university and an academic experience that will absolutely change their lives, and all that to say, we believe the totality of the experience, both the education in our program, the education on our campus, the relationships that drive our program, so we're a relationship-driven program, all of that is going to allow our players also to be better pros. And so we want to be known as a program that helps develop young people into their long-term goals. We want to become known as a program that has a track record of NFL success, but we also want it to be known that at Vanderbilt football there are no backup plans. And so once our team members are finished with football, once their careers are done, whenever that is, if it's with their college career or after an NFL experience, if you think about it like this, even after a 10-year NFL experience, you're 30 years old, there's a lot of life left, and we don't want a Vanderbilt football player to be left living in glory days at that point. We want them to be launching into the impact and purpose that awaits them in their lifetime. And so to be the best program in the country, sustain success year after year, competing for championships year after year, delivering a holistic experience where your players are developed and connected to something of value, and ensuring that that value multiplies over time. That to me would be the best program in the country.
So let's look at your team this year. Starting at the quarterback position, you made the decision coming out of spring ball to make Mike Wright your starting quarterback. What got him the job in your mind, and why did you make the decision when you did?
Well, obviously we feel fortunate to have two quarterbacks who bring back a ton of game experience, that we have confidence in both. They have unique skill sets, and Joey Lynch, our offensive coordinator, is certainly smart enough to design around both players and to design for success. Mike brings the X factor of his mobility and his ability to make plays with his legs, and that showed up for us at times last season where he had great impact on the game. I think Mike's challenge is to become a complete quarterback and to be able to strengthen the other 10 positions on the field. And he was able to show that through the spring. And so, we wanted to establish leadership within our program. We wanted to establish a presence at the quarterback position. And that's not to say we named Mike internally after spring to somehow, put Ken in a second place seat. But we really wanted to deliver for both of them some peace of mind, some clarity heading to the fall, so they could be the leaders that they know they can be. And that means less focus on competing with each other. That happens naturally on the field. More focus on building the bonds with their teammates that great quarterbacks build, so that we can have a successful offense. So that was the reason for the timing of the decision. Again, that happened after spring, and that was through conversations that we had with Mike and Ken and AJ Swan. And once we get going in fall camp, what Mike Wright knows is he has to earn it every single day. And what Ken Seals knows, he's also looking to earn it too, and competition will move us forward, and that's what Vanderbilt football needs to be defined by.
Well, your signal caller should have some weapons around him. You've got your top 3 rushers coming back. Ben Bresnahan, Will Shepard could be good pass-catching options for the QB. How vital is it, though, that your offensive line take a step this year to open up those holes and give the QB some time?
Well, we don't have, a game on our schedule where the O-line's not going to need to be really sharp, playing together with some edge too. I think establishing a sense of personality and attitude within that unit is so important. Last fall, especially early on, I felt as though, we were still learning plays. We were still trying to, line up the right way and identify who we need to block. And we weren't able to establish any kind of dominant personality or dominant mindset within that group. But I did feel like late in the year, we established a running game, and you started to see some of that personality and edge come out. I felt like in the winter and spring, we were really concerned about the inexperience in that group, and it was a young group that needed to grow up fast. But I think we left spring really feeling like they had made tremendous strides and excited for what this group can become for us in the fall. And so they need to continue that trajectory. We have to use fall camp to really continue to develop. But I'm excited for those guys to be, really again a driver of the identity that we want on offense, which starts with a smart, physical, tough offensive line.
Defensively, you've got a lot of experience coming back, a couple key transfers coming in. What do you see as the strength on that side of the ball that can help carry you?
Well, we felt like we got great second-level production a year ago. We returned that production. We think we've got some really good key pieces with some experience in the back end as well, where we've also added some youth, some length and speed, which I think is going to be essential for us. We have to do a better job of closing the spaces in the secondary, keeping plays from becoming explosives, and certainly keeping plays from becoming explosive touchdowns. And so, we need that youth to strengthen early. We need to play more people on defense. But if you look at the core of our defensive front, you get excited about the combination of game experience, and then from what we've seen internally, progress, growth, to where you feel like we're going to have a nice core there that we need to build around some of that impactful youth, the athleticism and length that we've added, so that those guys can carve out roles and help us be a dominant defense.
And you open camp, believe it or not, on Friday because of the Week 0 game at Hawaii. What does adding that game do as you help or try to help build the momentum for this team?
Well, it certainly adds some logistical issues or challenges. Listen, I think I was joking with Candace the other day. I think Stack has it figured out. He's taken his team in August to Italy, I think, for some exhibitions. So he gets to go and relax, and the games don't count yet. We're going to go to Hawaii, and it's going to be a critical game for us. They're all critical, but certainly we want to start the right way this season. And, there are going to be a lot of factors that lead to performance in that game and the outcome of the game that have nothing to do with the talent on the field. And so it really is a great, starting point for us, because we cannot wait in terms of our own progress in fall camp and process in fall camp. We can't afford to sit back and wait for this team to come together, from staff to coaches to the team, the players. We have to design a team that's ready to start fast. And we're going to spend a week out in Hawaii. Our game week will be there. We're doing that to help acclimate to the time change. But I think that's also an opportunity for some team building exercises that again, will impact certainly our performance in that game, but also will be an experience that we can pull from for the entirety of the season.
To that end, starting fast, I know you weren't thrilled with the way you came out of the gate last year in game number 1. Would you change anything in fall camp or in how you prepare to try to make it different this time around? Well,
certainly. I mean, I think our effectiveness as a program is all about adaptability and evolution. And so I think in every way, we've looked, and I continue to look at last season, what can I learn from a lack of result a year ago that will allow me to be better and our program to be better as we look for those results in year 2. And that is really, that's an everyday internal conversation. But I think we had a system in fall camp that certainly wasn't bad, but we can adjust and adapt to be more effective, more impactful for us. And that's what we've done. And so certainly, as starting fast is important. We want each practice to represent that. We want there to be a mentality that's manifested in the way the practice is structured. And so that'll be part of our work this fall.
And as you show up on Friday, you're going to be surrounded by all these facilities that have either been completed or the upgrades are starting. How much does that, the improved facilities and the support you're seeing from Candace Lee and school administration, help in building to the vision you want to get to?
Well, to start there with Chancellor Diermeyer and Candace Lee and their partnership with our program and their investment in our program. The Chancellor is with us on Friday. He came over and spent time with me and Barton Simmons just to talk about our process for recruiting. He's just taken an interest. He's interested in learning more about football and about the different things that we do to build the successful program that we know we're building. Their interest, their investment in what we're doing unlocks our potential. My vision starts with their vision, and certainly I'm excited about that. As far as the physical transformation of our spaces, I mean, it's hard not to be energized by what Vanderbilt football will look like over the next few years and how that'll change. I think that's when you talk about building the best program in the country. As you change physically, you start to unlock levels and potential in that too. What I'm focused on right now is that we have like a solid core and foundational team that is ready to exist in those facilities. And to me, we can't skip steps, and we can't certainly sit back and wait. We have to be building actively every single day to make sure that when the program reaches the point where we have best-in-class facilities, that the team is ready to launch into its potential.
There's certainly a long-term vision there for the people interested in the here and now in this season in terms of results. Heard the message a lot this week. We want to play our best football. If you're able to do that this fall, Clark, how much closer can you be in closing that gap, you think?
Well, football's, you know, in really all competitive sport, but football's a great game, and you know, there's a physical, psychological component to the outcome that shows up, and when a tough team plays to its potential, that team finds itself in positions late in the game to strike and win, and that's obviously the goal. And we can't make the result the focus, because if we do that, we lose the opportunity to build and grow, whether we have a good outcome or a bad outcome. And so playing at our highest level as a team is the focus, and that allows us, no matter the result of the game or the opponent we play, to constantly focus on the things that we control, that we can do better, to have a chance to be the team that we know we can be. If we're able to master that and replicate it, then certainly we feel like this is a team that has an opportunity to do some really big things. You know, but winning's hard, and winning is a mindset, it's an attitude, it's in behaviors and actions, and so we have to allow those behaviors and actions and attitude define us in our process before we can expect to have the results that we know we can have on Saturdays.
Well, I know a lot of people are interested to see the results in year number 2, and it all gets started on Friday. Clark Lee, thanks for coming in. Good luck with the start of camp.
Hey, great to be with you.